Well, I gotta say, weather forecasting out here sucks because it's 11:15 and peak wind was supposed to be at 11, but it's absolutely flat. But beautiful spot. So having my lunch. I finish my lunch and get out of the Hove 2 position and start sailing in light winds. But, I'm also noticing these clouds coming in from the west, and they've definitely got my attention. How's it going? Doing good. You guys come out here a lot? So, beginner tip, when you start seeing these clouds get the dark bottom, you can go from winds like this to 25 mile an hour with 3-foot waves, just like that. So, yeah, I'm heading back. Yep, take care. So you can see right here I start perking up a little bit because I'm looking at the surface of the water, and I can see some wind in different spots on the lake coming toward me. And so it's definitely got my attention. I know something's coming. And here you can see the wind starts picking up, and it's also shifting. So it's shifting more toward my port side. So I keep having to turn the boat to stay on that same point of sail. And so just as the winds start picking up and things start getting a little unstable, it becomes a little bit of a challenge. You got to really have your wits about you and pay attention to what's going on. So I decided to take a tack. And so I'm heading up the lake and just, trying to make my way back to the marina. So here I pull on the backstay tensioner and just start putting a little bend in the mast and, getting the boat ready for some heavier wind sailing. There I tighten the jib halyard. And then I decide to go forward and tighten up the outhaul on the mainsail with the tiller tied off with my little bungee. So try and snug up the outhaul real good. And my intent here is to sail as long as I can, right? As long as there's wind, I'm going to keep sailing toward the marina. But if the wind dies, then that's a different story. So now you see the fishermen, and they're motoring back to the marina as fast as they can. So that's a sure sign that something's coming. So I continue sailing, just do another tack, and there's an island ahead of me, and so I have to get in between this island and the shore on my starboard side there. So I'm just tacking back and forth between this channel. And you can see the clouds building there. Start to get some dark bottoms. So I start another tack, and it's going really slow, and basically the wind is dying as I'm making the tack. And so the sails really, they won't set on the new tack because the winds are just trying to figure out what they want to do. And so, I lose my wind, the boat slows down, and, the winds are just kind of swirling around. And so I decide, you know what, it's time to motor. So I grab the tiller pilot and start getting the boat ready to go back into the slip at the marina, start taking out sails. Just start stowing my gear. And the clouds, continue to get darker and darker. And you can see now it's just glassy, right? There's like no wind at all. The lake is just flat. And then the wind starts picking up, but in a new direction. So I put out some dock lines, one on the bow. And so what I do is I run the dock line all the way back to where I can reach it in the cockpit. So it's on the outside of the lifeline, and then, right there in the cockpit.
Alright, I'm motoring back to the marina. You can see there's a bunch of wind coming down the lake. And we got some lightning and some rain showers, obviously. And I am not trying to get caught out here in the cold rain, because I will tell you, at this altitude, when it rains, it's really cold. So yeah, I'm just motoring back. I got the autopilot. Got the autopilot steering me. And yeah, it's an okay day of sailing.
Really starting to pick up as this afternoon squall starts moving in. So waves starting to build, and at this point I'm inside the breakwater, but you can see a little bit of waves building up, and I'm just trying to line up with the slip. And what I like to do is I like to use my boat hook to grab the stern dock line and then use the motor to keep the bow pressed up against the dock. So I grab the dock line and then hop off the boat, get the bow situated, and there's 2 lines on the bow, so I get those both attached, and that's the end of my day of sailing.
Alright, well that's it for today, so I'm going to call this one a victory. Better to live and fight another day, I guess.